There we go. Yo, everybody, good to see you. Hope you're all having a good day. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized moth. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes a Live2D Rigging streams, and today is one of those drawing streams. Hold on a minute, we gotta get rid of this thing. There we go. No, wait, not a drawing stream, now that I think about it. Wrong one. Today is one of those rigging streams. Today, we are rigging rat model. Rat. So I hope you enjoy your day, I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you had a good weekend. Whatever it may have been, I hope it went well. And good to see you there, Ryu, Mary Lamb, Zerates. Hope you're all having a good day. Let's give a shout out to Mary Lamb. Go check them out. Really hilarious streams, really fun time. If you like art, that's a good place to go as well. They make some really amazing art over there. And go check out Zerates. If you're a fan of Pokemon, if you're a fan of good games, if you're a fan of chill times, go check out Zerates. And Guild Wars too, apparently too. Go check out Guild Wars. Go check out Zerates. With that being said, let's get rolling into this next project. I'm trying to remember what on earth it was that I was going to do. So, last time during the stream, we worked on the head angles. And if I'm correct, yeah, we worked on the head angles. We got left, we got right, we got up, we got down. We also got the Z angles for that. Gave them the little shack shimmy, if that makes any sense. If I'm correct, we were also working on the body. Yeah, the body angle for a Z, as well as the rigging for the arms, or the physics for the arms, which I have not set up the physics just yet. But we will get to that one soon enough. Because I know, for those of you that haven't done physics settings, that looks intimidating. That looks very, very intimidating. But do not worry, we'll give that one a little bit before we roll into that one. First, let's work on the ear physics next. Although I should be working on the... How do I put it? Although I should be working on the eye and the mouth rigging. Not gonna beat around the bush on this one. I am delaying that one as much as possible, simply for the fact that I don't want to do it. Specifically the mouth rigging. But I know we gotta do what we gotta do soon enough. But first, we're gonna delay that as much as possible by working on literally anything else. Why are you beating up bushes? Because I can. What you gonna do? Stop me? Why are you? Bush patrol? You can't stop me. I'm gonna beat up them bushes all I want. You can't stop me. Superman can't stop me. The world's gonna know, or the bushes around the world are gonna know what fear sounds like. And it sounds like a shotgun. Yo, Blobby, welcome on in. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Let's give a shout out to Blobby Derp. If you haven't checked out Blobby, I highly recommend that you do. Really fun streams, really chill times. If you like watching some video games, if you like watching Star Sector, if you like perfume making, and if you like Marvel Rivals, that's a good place to go. And I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope things are well. Okay, so how do we make the ear rig? Here's what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna get the ears on the right side. We're gonna get rid of those. Or the left side, technically. The ears on the left side, we're getting rid of those. No more ears on the left. For now. We'll come back to those ears later, but for right now, no more ears. So now we go to the ears on the right. We're gonna put a name for that one. We're gonna call that ear right. We're gonna put OK. We're gonna create that deformer right there. We're gonna make that green box. And now for the part about the physics. For the physics to work here, we're gonna need to make a lot... Wait, I already mentioned that last time, but just to be safe, we're gonna recap on what we did last time. For making the physics settings, we're gonna need to make a lot of the green boxes. We're gonna need to make a lot of deformers. We're gonna... Well, you don't have to make a lot of deformers, but for this case... For me personally, to get the exact movement that I'm looking for these ears, we're going to have to make a lot of deformers. So I hope you enjoy. And welcome on in there, Dread Acre Fire. Oh, Arcade Fire. Welcome on in. Right. I don't know why I saw Freyr. Or Acre. I feel like I know someone who is named Acre. Maybe that's why. Okay. Hope you're well too, Lampy. I'm comfy tuning in from bed. That's a very comfortable spot to be in. I'm glad to hear that. Always get that rest. Don't be like Lampy. Alright, so we're gonna name so we're gonna make a new name for this one. We're gonna name this one Ear Biz X. And then we're gonna put okay. But we're also gonna do something, we're gonna change things up a little bit. We're going back to that inspector tab over here. And I've mentioned this one last time, but just to be safe, we're going to mention it again. We need to go to the inspector tab, scroll all the way down until we find this thing that says number of conversion divisions. That's a lot to say, but we're just going to say we're looking for the conversion thingy. Because as you can see, it says 5 by 5, and if you look at the dots here, you will see 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, actually, it's the other way. It's the number of boxes that we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how many boxes we got. However, we need more than this. We need a lot of boxes. So, instead of it being 5 by 5, we're going to go back to that number conversion. And we're going to bump that up to 8 by 8. So now we have 8 across and 8 down. So 8 rows, 8 columns. This is what we're going to need right here. Bird to angel. All right, the bird's got to switch out. But before the bird switches out to their true form, they're flying off with Ryu's card. Every time. Doesn't matter if Ryu is the one that redeems it or not, they're flying off with Ryu's card every time. All right, this is going to take a minute for it to load, but when it's done, that is when this card goes away. There we go. And welcome on in there, Uni. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Also, I'm not sure if I already said that, but thank you for the hydrate there, Dreaded. I greatly appreciate that. Let's also give a shout out to Uni. If I'm correct from what I saw, they're going to be getting a new Live2D model soon. Go check them out when you get the chance. It's been a millennium since I last redeemed it. I see what you did there. I see that you pulled a pun. Millennium, Yu-Gi-Oh! I see what you did there. It's already shown on Twitter? Yeah, I saw that one. Folks, go check out Uni. Really chill streams, really funny times. They also do the artin'. I believe they do the artin'. I think I could swear I saw an art stream. Maybe? Did I? I know I saw Slime Rancher, and I know there was another game. And I know they were bullying Mattias for a bit. Good times. Alright, let's get started. Let's get this show on the road. So, now that we made one physics, we're also going to need to copy that name. Yo, Icy, welcome on in. It Takes Two? That's the one. I remember now. I know I saw you playing with Mattias in some sort of game. I forgot what game it was, but I remember seeing that. I apologize, folks. I can't remember stuff too well. Alright then. So, we're going to need to make not just one deformer, not just one green box, but we're going to need to make three of them for the X angle. Now again, you don't have to do this. You could just make one deformer for the X angle. You can make 2 of them. You don't even have to put physics on this thing if you don't want to, but in this case, we're going to go with 3 of them across. 3 of them for the X angle. And 2 of them for the Y angle. So, we need to keep going. We need to keep scrolling. So, change that to Y. And then Y2. And then we need to give a shout out to Icy, because they deserve it. And they can't tell me otherwise. Oh, whoops, hold on a minute. Accidentally forgot that when we make these deformers, you don't want them to stack. Okay, how do I put this? When you make these deformers, also do not worry, I will catch up with the reading soon enough. When you make these deformers, I want to show you something. You want to make sure that when you're making the physics ones, the green boxes for the physics, is that whenever you're making these, you want to select the layer parts, the layer meshes first. Every time. Every time you make a new physics deformer, add a mesh layer. Normally you want to go to the mesh layer again, then add it. Because if you don't, this is what'll happen. I'm going to show you right here. Actually, I got a perfect example for... Yeah, let's work with this one right here. We're going to go with angle X. We're going to make a new deformer. We're going to create that one. And if you look at it, this is the original one. This is the larger box. And if we kept doing that, let's say we made 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And we go all the way back to the original one. You'll notice something. These boxes get significantly bigger because they are containing the deformer, not the layer part. So, here's the original one. Again, that's the original box. Here's the one that was on top of that one. Here's the one that was on top of that. And the one that was on top of that. Comparing the latest one to the original one, you could see that that box became significantly larger than the previous one, and we don't want that when it comes to physics settings. So we're going to delete all of those, and that is why when you make these deformers, instead of making one on top of the other, also, the Lily Shadow, thank you for the follow, welcome to the Moth Crew, I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're a Lampy now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But yeah, so... how do you keep them all the same size? It is very simple. You select the layer parts first. You make the deformer. And if you need another one, and you want it to stay the exact same size, select another layer part. Make a new deformer. And they will always be the same size every time. Instead of going around the box, they go around the layer itself. So they'll always be the exact same shape and size every time. I literally just clicked on about 8 different deformers, and if you notice, not a single change among them. Because we made them by selecting the layer parts first. I hope that explains something in some way, shape, or form. If you ever wanted to keep the layer, you know, the deformers the exact same size as one another. I hope that helped. But also, let's give a shout out. I'm not sure if I did that already. I did not do that yet. Let's give a shout out to Icy. They play a good variety of games. It's a really fun time over there. Really great people. Go check them out when you get the chance. Alright, let me try to catch up with things. That one's on me and Mad. Oh, that's the one me and Mad did a collab on. Ah, fair. I remember that one. I think I remember you two talking about how you killed a vacuum. It's okay, I can't remember anything either. That's good. Kind of. Also, thank you for the hydrate, the posture check, and the stretch. Yeah. There we go. Thank you for the shout out. Yeah, no problem. All right. So, now that we got our deformers, what do we do next? Well, let's go to the first one. And in this case, we're going to select... I want to say let's select the first... everything but the last bottom, or the 2 bottom rows. Let's select everything but the 2 bottom rows for this one. Also, I just realized we're also going to need to make some deformers for this. Or not deformers, but we're going to need to make some parameters. We're going to need to make some dials. Also, let's remove these hair physics parameters. We're not going to need them. Where we're going, we don't need helmets. Or whatever the quote was. I forgot what the quote was. Anyway, Let's go over here. We're going to go to our parameter tab, this one down here. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom of the tab until we see that plus sign. Click on said plus sign. When that plus sign pops up, as mentioned before, you're going to see this. It's going to be terrifying. But don't worry about that. Just put the name. That is all you got to focus on is the name. And right here for the name, we're going to put ear. Oh, whoops. For this case, we're just going to put ear X. Yeah, just ear X. We're actually going to need to copy that one. Then we put OK. Boom. Done. However, we're going to need to do this a couple more times. We're going to need to make one of these for all 5. We're going to need to make a parameter for all 5 of these ear physics. So we need to do this a couple more times. But if you are actually, yeah, let's just go here. I'm going to show you one way we could do this. Since we have ear X, here's what we could do. We're just going to take that parameter down here, this little dial. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to right-click on it, replicate parameters will pop up as the third option. Click that one, replicate parameter. Do that one more time. And now we got 3 of them. Now we're going to make a fourth. And we're going to call that one ear Y. And then we're going to replicate that parameter. Now we're going to go to the second one, or we're going to go to the second ear X. Right click on that, rename that to 2. Go to the third one, do the exact same thing, edit parameter, and name that 3. And then we go back to this third one over here, or the last one that says ear Y. Right click on that, go to edit parameter, click, and just name that, or just add a 2 at the end of that one, and boom. Now we got all 5 of our parameters, all 5 of these little dials, ready to go. Also, welcome on in there, IV, Nico, EB. Hope you're all doing well. Ear. Why is everybody saying ear? What is that symbol? Is that a symbol for ear? Lurk? All right, you do your lurking there, Nico. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you enjoy the stream. So, now that we made the 5 deformers, it means ear in Japanese. I had a feeling it was that. All right, so now that we got all that set up, we go back to ear phys X. We go back to the first physics setting. And we go to on both the deformer and the parameter. So both the green box and the dial. And on the dial, we go back to the parameter tab, click on the 3 green dots. We got those set up. Take that red dot on ear X, move it all the way to the right. And then on the deformer on that green box, we select everything except for the bottom 2 rows. Now, we take one of these corners, we rotate this sucker significantly, and let's rotate a little more. There we go. And it looks like a buggy mess, but don't worry about that. We're going to move this, we're going to drag this entire part all the way to the right, and that part should be good. You know what? We may have dragged a little too much, so let's bring this back up a little bit. Move it over to the left. Take our cursor, select these bottom 3, or yeah, take these 3 rows, second to the bottom, rotate that a little bit, drag them down. Right there should be okay. Rotate them a little more to the opposite direction till we get a smooth shape. That should be okay. And if we're really finicky about it, we could just take this dot, move it over. Nah, we'll keep that dot as is. We'll leave that one alone. This should be okay. And then we reflect, or yeah, we select that We select that parameter, make sure it's still on the right. Go to the top of the parameter tab, go to the top over here. Select those 3 lines, click on that. Reflect motion. You're going to see a tab that pops up. So long as... Okay, you know what? Let me just show it. This tab will pop up. So long as this here says reflect horizontally, we're good. We don't have to worry about anything else. So long as this says reflect horizontally, just click OK. That is literally it. You ever wanted to reflect items? Just select the 3 lines, go all the way down to reflect, make sure that says horizontally, and then click OK. You don't even have to double check it most of the time. Most of the time it should be on horizontal. Maybe it'll be vertical in very rare occasions, but under most circumstances, you just click on reflect, then you click on OK, and then you're good. Alright, back to the drawing. Also, welcome on in there, Odd. How you be? Right, let's give a couple more shout-outs. Let's give a shout-out to EB. They play the Pikmins. They do the Live2D Rigging. You want to go check them out? Well, they're learning the Live2D Rigging. Oh, and Mario Kart. I did not see the Mario Kart one. I may have missed that day. And go check out Odd. They play a good variety of games. Really awesome stuff. Really cool streams. Go check them both out. I highly recommend it. Yeah. Okay, so now that we got that set up, we got the reflect motion, and now we got the ear moving to the right and to the left, and that's okay. Normally, yeah, well, not so much normally, but if you're starting out, you could just leave it like this if you wanted to. But if you really want, what's a good example? Tell you what, I got an idea. Let me bring up a different model that I've worked on before on stream. Let me go find that cat. Here, cat. There's the cat. There we go. If you want very flowy ears, kind of like the cat right there. Maybe even the cat feels a little outdated. Maybe I need to go show up with a different model or something. But anyway, something similar to the cat right there. If you want something similar to that, or if with even more movement, then yeah, you're going to want to put multiple deformers on it. Oh no, the cat will eat the rat? Indeed, the cat's looking at that rat already like, ah. Whoops, wrong model grew. It's supposed to be the cat that grows. It's supposed to be like, is that a rat? Target acquired. Anyway, alright, let's drop the cat. I have a better example. Flowy ears or something like that. Let me see if I have a better example to show for ears. No, I think the cat gave a perfect enough example. We'll leave it at that for now, but anyway, you'll also be able to see the example once we're done with the rat's ears here anyway. So, let's continue on with the process. If you want flowy ears, if you want them to have a lot of movement going on, then yeah, you're going to want to use multiple deformers for this. This is why we got to go with the second one, Ear X2, with Ear Physics 2. Where did I put the... There it is. Okay. Lampy, pick a number. 5. Oh, between 1 or 2. 2. I like even numbers. Anyway. So, here's what we got to do. We already set up Physics X. Now we got to set up Physics X2. So we also we select Phys 2 as well as Ear X2 and repeat the process, except this time around, we're going to be selecting half of the boxes. So we only select half of the top boxes. These ones here. And we do the exact same process. Move it to the right. Reflect these ears. Or rotate these ears. Move them over. this should be okay. Well, kind of. Let's leave them right there. Let's select that bottom row. Or let's select the row right below it. Move it over a little bit. Maybe even take this point and pull it forward. Take that point. Let's try that again. We'll leave this part back there. Select these two parts. Select these two dots. Pull them forward a little bit. That should be okay. Do the exact same thing as before. Select the three lines on the parameter tab. Go to reflect motion. Just push enter. And then we should get the reflected side on the other end. There we go. However, you're probably looking at a certain point right here that is a little off, that no matter how many times you work with the parameter itself, it's not going to get fixed. So, how do we fix that problem? How do we sort that situation out? I'm going to show you. And this is one of those rare occasions where you're going to actually need to get to the layer parts themselves. And we're going to need to go to the back of the ear for this one. Select the actual ear layer. Go to Physics X2. And put the 3 green dots for the actual mesh this time. Now that we got the layers for the actual mesh, we just move these parts around a little bit until it's smoothened out. Let's move that there. Move this a little bit further up. Pull this one back a little bit. And that should be okay. That should be solid enough. And since we set it up on one of the parameters, it'll go right back to normal as if it was never changed in the first place. Although, now we need to check something. We'll rotate both of those. Yeah, we're still good. All right, so that should be fine. Now we go to Physics X. Oh, wait, actually, let me see. Move those move those two physics to the opposite end. Yeah, we're good there. We're still good. Okay. Okay, expect a surprise. I am worried, but intrigued. I'm looking forward to that. Also, thank you for the hydrate, the posture check, and the stretch there. Odd, I'm not sure if I said that, but yeah, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, no problem. Whew. Also, whenever I'm working on this stuff, feel free to ask any questions and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability when it comes to the Live2D stuff. Okay, so now that we got that set up, right, this one only says Phys X. We need to have this one say Phys X3. No real particular reason, just for it to be easier for us to determine which one we're working on. Anyway, so now, repeat the process one more time. Phys X3 on the deformers. Ear X3 on the parameters. Click on the 3 green dots. Move it to the right. And this time, we're only selecting the top 3 rows. So we're selecting less and less as we go along. Rotate that over. Move it to the right. Actually, maybe not even the top 3 rows. Let's just select the top 2 rows. Rotate that over. Move it over to the right. Reflect motion. Those are all 3 directions. And we're all set up with that. Now for angle XY. Angle Y is going to be a different direction. Who we eating? We're eating a rat. Actually, you know what? We're eating you. Get in the pot. Welcome on in there, Allman. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Folks, go check out that Pitiful Allman. They play a good variety of games. They also do the arting. Really fun times over there. Rat. No, not the pot. I'm sorry they're falling. The rat was, The rat was bait. The real stew was you. There's no turning back now. Almond, get in the pot. Alright then. Let's get back to the project at hand. Almond soup? Yeah, almond soup. Look, if you can make milk, if you can make almond milk, you can make almond soup. Wait. The context with almond milk is, we're gonna leave that one alone. We're gonna leave that alone. No almond milk. We don't talk about the milk. That's fair. That is honestly fair. We leave that one alone. You still have the Risk of Rain 2 redeem. I mean, y'all can redeem the Risk of Rain 2 redeem all you want. It's not going to do anything. Just look at the Risk of Rain 2 redeem as a channel point redeem for nothing. If you see an art stream and you decide, let's reset Risk of Rain 2, that's on you. That is honestly on you. The rat was a lie? I mean, the rat's also in the soup. I mean, if you wanted rat soup, I mean, technically it's there. It's just that it will also be almond soup. All right, let me see. So we go to angle, or yeah, going back to it, we go to Fizz Y for the deformer. We go to ear Y on the parameter, except this time we'll change things up. Instead of doing what we normally did, which was select these parts and rotate them, we're actually going to select everything except for this last row right here. Leave everything but the last row. And we're going to move it to the left instead of the right. Actually, you can still move it to the right. I'll show you the main reason why we move it left to right. Just like before, up, or yeah, even for the physics, for the Y angles, left means up, right, or yeah, the other way around. Right means up, left means down. Always remember that, folks, whenever you're working on Live2D. Right means up, left means down. I'll say that one more time so it sticks. Right means up, left means down. All right, now that you know, if you forget, that's on you. Also, I wouldn't blame you. I'd forget too. You're just salty because we did reset your perfect run last time. Yes, I'm very salty about that one. I'm very, very salty. I had a really good run in Risk of Rain 2, and then they started a hype train. It was such a good run. I had the freaking mochas and everything. I couldn't have asked for a better run, and then they took it from me. That's what I get for doing a Risk of Rain 2 reset stream. Okay, thank you for the slow flutter there, Icy. I greatly appreciate it. And welcome in there, Spock. How you be? I hope you're having a good day. Now, no more distractions. It's time for the Live2D rig. Here's how we set up the Y physics. Since we moved it to the right, we drag the top half, or you know, we drag everything except for the bottom row, and we pull that part up. And then we squish it a little bit, squish it towards the center. And then we do the exact opposite for the left side. We squish this part down, and then we drag the outer edge of the ear outward to the right, like so. So this is what it'll look like. Let's deselect everything. So up and down, up and down. That will be one half of our right. Hold on a minute. That will be one half of the ear physics. Let me just zoom in on this a little bit while we do that. There we go. That works better. Sorry for the flash warning. Or, sorry for not giving a flash warning. That's what I should have said. Okay, so yeah, here we go. That is the, that's the left side. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, no, that does move. Okay, I just wanted to make sure on that one. I was second guessing that for a minute. And of course, we need to double check, make sure that all the settings work while that's all set up like that. And yeah, that should be okay. Now for physics settings Y2, which has not been named Y2, so we need to name that. Add that 2 at the end of there. There we go. We're all set there. So, I'll eat the rat first. That's okay. That just means that the rat has given you more protein. Very good for stew. There is no progress to reset without a game running. Kind of a waste. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. How if you redeem the reset run and there's no risk of rain 2, that's on you. All right, so ear physics 2, ear Y2, put the 3 green dots, and then we're going to move it to the right. Except this time, instead of rotating or taking a whole part and just squishing it, we're actually going to zoom in on this a little bit more. We're just going to pull the corners in opposite directions. Just pull all the corners. Let's also go back to our inspector tab. Let's go to the Bezier edit type. So right below the number of conversions is the division number. That's not important. Below the division number is the Bezier edit type. This one allows us, okay, let me explain what the Bezier edit type is for. Let's say we got this point right here, and we don't like how it looks because we want that one smoothened out. We want all of these lines to line up properly. Like, let's say if we pull this up, we got that angle, we got that corner, and we don't want that corner. We don't want this, and we don't want that. We want this one to be lined up exactly with that one. Or, yeah, we want this one to be perfectly aligned, and vice versa with these parts. We want those points to be perfectly aligned. But how do we make sure that it's exactly working like that? I'm gonna show you. You go to that Bezier edit type, and it'll probably say retain control structure. We're gonna click on that, and then we're gonna get a bunch of tabs that pop up. You mostly want to look at the first 3 that say smooth. Smooth 1, smooth 2, smooth 3. I don't know how these 2 work exactly, but from what I heard about this one, smooth 3, it kind of curves, or yeah, it gives it an easier curve on all of the angles. We're going to go with smooth 1, just because that's the one I'm more comfortable with. This one is going to allow us... Hold on a minute. This one's going to allow us to pull these parts, and those lines will always be perfectly lined up with one another. That is exactly what we want, are those lines to be perfectly lined up with one another, no matter how far we move this. As you can see, doesn't matter where we move it all the way over there, we move it all the way over here, those lines will be perfectly perpendicular? I don't know the exact wording for it, but, you know, they'll be properly lined up. And that's exactly what we need, that's exactly what we want. We're actually going to shrink these parts down a little bit, so there's a little more space, because I'm not going to lie, the bird wings are kind of getting in the way of a lot of stuff. So, we're going to need to fix that. Alright, now let's bring all of this back around. Let's delete all of that. Remove those green dots, put them back. So now we can fix things. Also, welcome on in there, Wheezy. How you be? And Genie Problem. Hope things are well. I hope you're both having a good day. I hope you both had a good weekend. All that fun stuff. Alright, so let's move it to the right. Or, move it to the right. And as mentioned before, instead of selecting rows, we're actually just going to select the whole box and just rotate, or just move these corners around. Just reshape these corners. And since it's on the right side, it should be going up. Let's close that, do it again. So instead of it moving to the left, instead of it moving to the right, we actually need to pull these parts up. So let's do exactly that. Just pull these parts up, move them closer to the center. Take this side, pull that part up. Take this corner, move that a little more. Take that center point. And this should be relatively okay. Whoops. Let's move that back, remove that red box. Boom. And that should be okay right there. Then we drag it back down, move it to the left. And then we take this corner, pull that part down, take this side, pull that part down, and just move this stuff around significantly. We could actually even make a third option if we really, really wanted to. If we wanted to add a third deformer for the Y, we could actually do that, and I could show you how we're going to do that right there. So this part should be okay. Let's see. So we move it to the left, and that's what the ear is going to look like. We move it to the right. That's what the ear is going to look like. Ignore that spot for now. Actually, you know what? Let's select ear. Yeah, let's keep it on ear fizz 2. Put it to ear, yeah, ear Y2. And we move it to ear Y. Let me rephrase all of that. We're going to be on the physics, or we're going to be on the deformer of ear physics 2. And instead of being on ear Y2 in the parameter, we're going to go to ear Y1. And that's right, we're going to have it registered to both Y1 and Y2. Then we move both of them to the right. So we could fix that little spot right there, specifically to fix that little corner. Because, not gonna lie, I could sit here all day and say, it's fine, no one's gonna care, I'm gonna care. So I'm fixing that. Let's just select this little dot. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, there we go. Gonna pull this. Gonna pull that. And that should be good. Rats, lurk. Alright there, random, you do your lurking. And I hope it goes well. And I hope you enjoy the stream. Alright, let's see. Oh, you could put your wings down. I needed it for a thing I'm doing. Now I'm even more curious and worried. What on earth is Icy doing? I guess we'll find out when the time rolls around. It's always neat to watch you work, Lampy. I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. I am honored, I'm glad to hear it, and none of those words feel like they're enough. I feel like all the words that I just told you right now is like, that ain't enough to express my gratitude to hear that. I wish I had better words. If I had better words, I'd be a public speaker. Okay. So now that we got that set up, we got our 3 settings. We got left and right for Fizz 1. We got left and right for Fizz 2. We got left and right for Fizz 3. We got up and down for Fizz Y. And we got up and down for Fizz Y2. Hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, no, that should be fine. We got up and down for Fizz Y2. And like I said, if we really wanted to, we could just make a third deformer for Y. You don't have to do this, but not gonna lie, part of me feels like it's time to go the extra mile. So, ear, Fizz, Y3. Which means we also need to make a third deformer. So, replicate parameter. Right click, edit parameter. Replace that 2 with a 3. Make sure we're on Fizz Y3 on the deformer, so that's the green box. Make sure we're on ear Y3 on the parameters, that's the dial. Put the 3 green dots. Move it to the right. And instead of using the arrow key, we're gonna move our arrow. Yeah, instead of using the arrow, as you can see at the top of the entire window, we're actually gonna go a little bit further to the right till we see this circle that shows a paintbrush next to it. Deform brush tool. What is the deform brush tool I'm going to show you? As you can see, when we zoom in, there's a weird little circle right there. There's a weird little circle. And unfortunately, this one is a little more complicated to work with because I didn't know that the first time around when I saw this thing, I didn't know that there was a way to increase the size. But I've seen people do it all the time. So I started looking into that. Like, how do you increase the size of the circle? What you're supposed to do or at least in on PC, you're supposed to hold the B button, or hold the B key. Wait, hold up. Let's bring it back over here. Hold the B key and drag, or yeah, then right click on it. No, not right click. Left click on it. Hold the B key. Left click, right click. Dragging down will increase the size of the brush. Dragging up will decrease the size of the brush. So if you ever wanted to increase the size of your deform brush tool, that's the way you do it. Now, for those of you wondering, okay, so that's how you increase the size of the deform brush tool. Cool. I just have one question. What is a deform brush tool? I am so glad you asked, person that I just made up just to segue into this. What the deform brush tool is that it's essentially like the cursor, but without having to select specific spots. You just get your brush, hover your brush over something, and then you could drag that around however you like. Just hold the button and just allows you to move certain points, certain angles. And the larger the brush is, you'll also notice something. There's a bit of a gradient there, which means certain points have a much stronger, certain points will get dragged much more than others. I'll show you what I mean. We're gonna look at the sides. We're gonna look at the dots right over here. We're gonna put the circle right on the center. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go with this side. Let's go with the center on the right. We put the circle directly on that spot. And if we drag it and we pull, you will notice we got a very strong pull on that one. However, if we use the outside of the circle, you will notice that it's not as strong of a pull. It still pulls, but it's not as strong in comparison. This is what happened when we dragged with only the edge of the circle. This is what happens when we drag with the center of the circle. A very huge difference between the two. Now, with that being said, let's move it over to the right. Also, I got to check out what on earth Icy sent real soon. So what I want to do, we're going to go back to ear physics 3, move it over to the right, click on the edge of this ear, just pull this one up a bit. Like so. Not too much movement here, nothing too crazy. But we're just going to move a couple things around, move it to the opposite end, pull the inside of it, pull that part of the ear down a little bit more, pull the top a little bit, maybe even the corner, and that should be okay. Let us see. That's a weird shape, but it'll make sense as we go along. Let's also save to make sure. Now, I'm going to go see what Icy is, what Icy was up to. I feel like there's context that I forgot about this. Hold on a minute. We gotta go to Photoshop right quick. Because Icy just sent me something, and I feel like there's context that I'm missing for this one here. I just don't know. I just don't remember what it is. Let me make sure that that's actually on the screen. There we go. I feel like I talked about a burrito at some point, but I don't know when, and I don't know why. And I don't remember why I stole Icy's burrito. Icy, can you give me some context here? Why did I steal your burrito? Also, I'm putting this in the fan art folder. I'm making sure I don't forget this one. Also, where is Photoshop? There we are. Or not Photoshop, Live2D. There we go. Also, let me see. Lampy, today has been an odd day. Let me make sure that I'm not running into a pun on this one. Okay, let me see. Today has been an odd day. I was cooking coffee grounds into cream. I was cooking coffee grounds into cream in the morning, then letting it chill in the fridge while I make coffee. While waiting, I got a quart of coyote pea in the mail. Just finished making the ice cream. Why did you get coyote pea in the mail? Because I didn't pay the... what tax? There is no tax. Fan art folder, you say. I know who I am adding to my draw list. Yo, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but I greatly appreciate that if you do. And also, I will always showcase the art. Like, whoever drops art, I will, under most circumstances, usually showcase it. What are the rare cases where I won't showcase it? Not safe for work stuff. That is the only time. And you would probably be thinking, Lampy, why on earth would anybody draw not safe for work stuff of you? Have you seen Pokemon? If they can make not safe for work for Pokemon, they'll make not safe for work for anything. And so, I'm not going to say don't, because that's going to encourage it. I will definitely say, I'm not looking at it. Ew. That's why I'm here. Welcome in, Baka Water. How you be? Also, Myoto, good to see you. How you be? I hope you're having a good day there, buddy. Let's give a shout out to Baka Water. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend that you do. Very hilarious streams, as you could tell. And what on earth is a Waria? How does that sound like ooh, speak? Doing okay, just loving the city. I see what you mean. I too love this city, and I love this town. Party time. It's for pest control, and it just arrived on a day I was making ice cream. Both contributed to the day being unusual. Ah, fair. I understand what you mean there. Spock. Okay, so here's what you do. You take the coyote stuff, you put it in the ice cream. No, I'm kidding, don't. Okay, so now that we got all the physics settings set up, it's finally time to actually show how you make physics settings, or how you make the physics actually work. For example, if you want to know what on earth I'm talking about when it comes to physics, you could actually look at the bird, look at the hair, look at the coat, or whatever the shoulder pad thingies are. As you can see, there's a lot of movement there. Those are all made via physics setting. All of that stuff. That and Lampy's antennae. Those are all used using physics settings. So if you want to find out how on earth you make that, I'm going to show you, since we just finished off all 6 of those settings. We're going to go all the way up to... We're going to go all the way up to the window, all the way to the top left of the window, where you see File, stop at File, and then start moving to the right until you get to Modeling. So you got File, Edit, Show, Modeling. Click on Modeling. Click right there, and you will see all these things, all these spots. Don't worry about them right now. We'll worry on that later. We're going to want to go all the way to the bottom of this new tab that just opened. We want to go to all the way to the bottom where it says Physics Settings. Click on that. And then this new tab will pop up. Ignore the fact that this rat doesn't have any left side parts. But anyway, we just have simple movement. And as you can see, the ear does not move very much. So how do we get those physics settings set up? I'm gonna show you. And it may look very intimidating. It may look very, very intimidating right now. Never going to conflate those items, don't worry about it. Okay, good. Thank you, blushes. No problem there, friend. Hands you Rock City sticker. Hope your evening, day, night is wonderful. This goes to everybody. I agree. I hope everybody's having a good day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is. As for me, so far so good. I got to play at least an hour of Rock City. or Crime Boss. It was a really fun time. I love that game. And I love this town. Now I finally understand all the dumb lines that they were saying before. For those of you that don't know, while I was talking to my friends, they were saying these lines. Like, I had no clue on the context whenever they were just saying Rock City. And I love this city and I love this town. And I'm just looking at like, what on earth are you even saying? I need context. And they're just like, you want to play Crime Boss? Like, yeah, okay. I was like, okay. It took forever to try, mostly because I forgot to download it. I bought the game. It was on sale. I think it was like $1 or something. I downloaded that. Either that or it was a free game. I don't remember. But when it was time to play the game, I forgot to install it. So that took forever. But once we got it installed, it was the dumbest thing I had ever seen. Also, ads starting in 30 seconds. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But it was hilarious. All right, back to the stuff here. Or should I wait for after the ads? I feel like I should wait for after the ads. Folks, how many of you have Turbo? I don't know how many people have Turbo, but here's hoping they have Turbo. If not, let me find something else that I could talk about in the meantime for at least the next 30 seconds before the ads end. I have Turbo, but might be the only one. There's a possibility. There's a possibility. It's so stupid that it's fun. It is. Especially the music. I forgot which one that was. Oh yeah, Body Count. That's what it was. That was the name of the song. I don't remember who played. I think it was Ice-T. No. Wait. Which one's... Okay, I can never remember which one is Ice-T and which one's Ice Cube. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's an act... Well, I think they're both musicians. Or I think they both do rap. But I know one of them was... I know one of them did... How do I explain it? I know one of them was on Law and Order. And the other one was in those Friday movies. But I can never remember which one was which. I think Ice-T was in the Law and Order shows. And Ice Cube was in the Friday movies. And some other kids show movies. Because I know one of them did a lot of kids show movies. And the other one just did a lot of crime shows. I don't remember which one was which. Y'all let me know which one do you remember. Which one's Ice-T and which one's Ice Cube. In the meantime, we're going to get into the Live2D rig. Because if I'm correct, the ads should be over by now. So here's how we go about it. Here's how we make the rigging for the physics. Now, it's going to look very intimidating. You're going to look at this over here and just think, what on earth is this? And let me tell you, body count times 30. Yeah, that's basically the entire song. So, I'm going to try to break this down. So where you see on the left side, I'm going to break it down to make it less confusing and less intimidating as much as I possibly can. I can't guarantee that you'll understand it, but I'm going to try my very best. So, how do we go about this? First, we want to make sure that when we're looking on the left, it's on the input setting. This is where we first start off, is to make sure this is on input setting. Then, we're going to look at group. You're going to see we got no groups. So how do we make a group? Well, that's where this part comes in. You will see that it says add. We click on that. We're also going to need to bring this back to the tutorial screen. There we go. So, in the input settings, we're going to move down just a little bit. And you're going to see that it says add. We're going to click on that thing. Oh, wait, whoops, wrong one. Not in the input settings, the group setting. So, where it says group, I'm going to move the mouse cursor until it says add. Click on that, and then you're going to see this thing. It's going to look very intimidating again, because it says add a group. Name, input preset, physics model preset. Ignore the two bottom ones for now. Those will not be relevant yet. Actually, how do I put it? Ignore the first two. Just put the name for it for now. We'll be working on the other two afterwards. We're not even going to be working on them on this tab at all. We're just going to name this. And we're going to call this ear X. That is it. That is all. We just put ear X for the group name, and that's it. Nothing else. Just put the name and put OK. And you'll also notice that I put ear X and not just ear. That's because we are only going to be working on just the X physics for this. I've learned this one a while back, that you don't want to put the X and the Y physics on the same one, because then it becomes a buggy mess. No pun intended, it becomes an absolute mess. For example, actually, you know what? I got a good example for you. Did you know that the antennae on Lampy right over here, that's supposed to be the X and Y physics settings, but because both the X and Y are on the same physics setting, you don't really see a lot of the Y. If you move it left to right, you're only going to get left to right. If you move it up and down, you'll get the up and down. But if you move it in a circle and just move everything in all the directions, you're only going to get one or the other. That's because I accidentally put the X and the Y on the same deformer, and I'm too lazy to go back. So yeah, there you go. I learned that lesson while working on that model, and I made sure to fix that on every other model. So now the X and the Y on the other models will work just fine because they're on two separate groups. Now, with that being said, let's go back to the tutorial screen over here. And now you'll see that everything below it, the model setting and the preset, they lit up now. You can actually, interact with these. Now, how do we go about that? Sorry about that. Just got a notification talking about how there's a curfew in my area because of all the riots. Anyway, so go back to it. The preset setting. You're going to see this. You're going to see norm or name, all of that. You can click on this and it'll give you a bunch of inputs. They'll give you inputs for the head, the body, bust, all of that. We're using none of it. We're making our own input. Why? Because it's a whole lot easier this way. So, how do we make our own inputs? It is very, very simple. We make sure that we're on preset. And we move our cursor all the way to the right again until we see add. So, add on the preset. Right-click on that. And then you're going to see all this stuff. Don't worry about it too much. Again, looks confusing. All we just need to really do is scroll all the way down and go to the ear. This is basically all of our parameters. The parameters that we have on our Live2D model. The dials and all of that. We just want to go to the ear settings. Actually, not even that. We're not even going with those ones. I forgot. That's for the output. This is the input. So for the input, we actually just scroll all the way up. And we put angle X. And angle Z. Like I said, we don't put angle Y because that's going to have its own group. Now, so again, just to clarify, since this is the input, we're only going for what's going to move to cause the physics settings, not the physics settings themselves. So for this one, just angle X and angle Z, and then we click OK. So let's work on the next step. So we got, now that we put angle X and angle Z, you'll see two different spots that pop, or two different things that'll pop up in that setting right over there. So we got position and we got angle. That part, how do I put this one? For position and angle, those will basically determine when the physics will actually start moving around. And since we only have, and also whenever you're setting up these and you're setting up your inputs, you're also going to want to know that the effect over here, depending on how many position inputs or angle inputs you have, the position inputs will have to share amongst themselves. I'll show you what I mean. Let's add angle Y just for the example on this. So let's say you had angle Y and angle X, and they were both position types. If you have more than one, those ones will have to share the number based off of 100. What do I mean by that? Let me show you. Let's say with angle X, it's a position, and we put 100. And we try to put more, try to add more to angle Y. We're not going to be able to do that because they have to share between the number of 100. So that means Y will never go up. But if we put this to at least 50, Y will have the number to go up, but it'll only go up to 50. So again, they have to share between one another. And we don't want that. So again, we're deleting Y. So we only have angle X and angle Z, which means we could put them both at 100, no problem. And we're all set with that one. Now, for the model setting down here, this one can be very complicated, or it can be very simple, depending on what you're trying to work with. If you're trying to get some very complicated physics settings, then this can be a big problem. But if the presets work perfectly for you, then this will be no problem. I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're going to go to preset. We're going to go to name. We're going to click on this tab. And we're just going to go to the first one. We're going to go to hair short. But they got a lot of options. And if you click on import, then it sets up a parameter for you. Or it sets up a physics model setting for you. And in this case, we want to have, well, I guess I'll explain that one further down the road. Because they got a lot of different inputs, a lot of different presets. You got one with a single pendulum, you got a hair setting with 2 pendulums, 3 pendulums, etc. 10 pendulums if you really wanted to get crazy. We're not that crazy, not right now. But in this case, since we're on the topic of pendulums, I would say you want at least 1 pendulum for every physics parameter. That's the dial over here again. You want a pendulum for every physics parameter you have ready for that group. And how many physics parameters do we have? We got X, X2, and X3. So we have a grand total of 3 parameters. 3 dials over here. So we're going to want something that has 3 pendulums. So let's go to hair triple pendulum, click import. Now we got 3 pendulums. And if you don't want to use the presets, what you can also do, okay, let's not delete the preset. Let's just take all these other parts, delete, delete, delete. If you didn't want to use a preset, if you wanted it to be blank and you wanted to start fresh, then you could just go to the pendulum settings at the way bottom and just click add 1, 2, 3, and now we got 3 of them. Granted, they may not work as perfectly as we want, but you still have the option. And you can also edit these down here if you really wanted to. I'm not going to go through all that work because, again, this is a simple tutorial and I don't want to overwhelm anybody. Not only that, but I have no idea what I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. It's just more so that when you're working on those parts, it's a very, very much trial and error sort of situation where you're going to be sitting there tinkering, tampering, experimenting for God knows how long. And we ain't got the time for that, so let's just import the triple pendulum on the hair template. Now that we got all of that done, let's recap right quick. How do you set up... Actually, you know what? I know how we could recap. We're gonna do this entire thing all over again, but for the Y settings, but we're gonna make it faster. But before we do that, we just set up everything for the input setting. I'm gonna show you the output setting, And as crazy as that sounds, it's actually going to be a lot easier to work with. So go all the way back up here where it says input settings. Move it over to the right. You see output settings. Click on that. It's going to be very intimidating again. Do not worry about that. Just click add. You will see the tab pop up. Let's go to the tutorial. You'll see this tab pop up. It'll show all your parameters again. Scroll all the way down till you see your ear physics settings. Now we select all three of the ear X physics. So ear X1, ear X2, ear X3. Click OK. Now all of those are set up. And now, as you can see, they still don't move. They barely move. As you can see, they barely have some movement there. But we don't want a little bit of movement. We want a lot of movement. So how do we get a lot of movement going there? Well, you got two options. You can either A, go back to your output settings, scroll all the way to the, or yeah, move your cursor all the way to the right till you see these four spots, and go with increase output at the very top. Click on that. A tab will pop up. It'll ask, do you want to increase the settings? Yes. Put OK, and now you will notice. Actually, let me show you that one. Let's reset the magnification right quick. I'm going to show you something right quick here. You'll see the scale that shows just 1, 1, 1. That is going to give you an answer on how much movement is going to be in these physics settings. So what we want to go and do is increase that scale. So let's increase the output. Put OK. That 1 became a 13, a 12, and an 8. And so when we move it, you will see that the ear has a little more movement going on there. However, I am going to give you one more bit of information. But first, we got to give a shout out to Isla. Is that how you pronounce it, or is it Isa? You let me know. I've seen the name multiple times, and I can never figure out how to pronounce it. Let's give a shout out. Go check them out. Very fun streams over there. Right. First it's an I. Yeah, there we go. Go check out Isia? Isla? They play a good variety of games. Oh. Isla. Oh. Okay, I apologize. The S always throws me off. Go check out Isla. They play a good variety of games. Really hilarious streams. Really awesome stuff. They're a tiny little mouse. Wait, it's a mouse, right? I believe it's a tiny little mouse. Go check them out. And everybody stopping by for my list stream. Hi, my name is Lampy, small-time illustrator, football-sized moth. Yes, the bug is the streamer. I do a lot of drawing streams, occasional gaming streams, and sometimes on Live2D Rigging streams. And today is one of those rigging streams. Right now, we're currently rigging a rat. Ignore the fact that it's missing an arm and an ear. We're going to be bringing those back later. But for right now, this is what we got. Also, if you got to take care of things, go take care of those things. Never feel bad about raiding and running, because that's what raids are all about. But if you decide to stick around, I greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy your stay. And how was... Ooh, Yakuza? Yeah, how was the Yakuza? I know someone playing Yakuza for the first time. It's a very fun experience watching them play that. But yeah, let me try to catch up with some things. Welcome on in there, Cosmic Sands, Jellyfish Vibes. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're all having a good week. And I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's see. No worries. I don't mind at all. I hope the stream is going well. I'm a wild haggis. Ah, gotcha. It also reminds me, I'm trying to remember. What was the name you had? Well, I was trying to think about that one for a minute. Like, wait, I remember that there was a name before that, but... Well, since you rebranded, it's Isla from now on. But yeah. I hope you've been having some fun there, Isla. Or Isla. Right. Okay, this is going to be tricky because I know someone named Isla. But we're going to roll with it. But yeah, I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the Yakuza. Astrid, that's the name. I was trying to remember. Like, I remember seeing a name before that. I don't remember what the name was. I know it's been a while. And I kind of got used to the current name that you got now. Even though I didn't know how to pronounce it. Also, Jellyfish Vibes, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're Lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. All right. Back to the project at hand. So here's what we're doing. So I showed that we just got the physics settings for the ears. As you can see, the ears finally wiggle. But I will say this. While you're working on Live2D, while you're working on physics, when it comes to Live2D, I will let you know this. You still have the shotgun? You better believe we still got the shotgun. It even fires now. As a matter of fact, the shotgun does even more. Check this out.
You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us. And that thief over there.
I'm never gonna not do that. Every chance I get. Although, as I mentioned before, I use that one sparingly. I only use that joke at least once a month so it doesn't get old. Also, welcome on in there, Destroyer. I'm glad that you like that one there, Isla. Let's give a shout out to Destroyer as well. Go check out the Destroyer. Really chill streams. Despite their name, it's very chill streams over there. They play a good variety of games. Really awesome times. If you want a stream where you can just vibe, that's a good place to go. But yeah, that was my one joke, or yeah, that was my one Skyrim joke for the month. I gotta wait till July to use it again. So, going back to it, as I was saying, about the physics settings in Live2D. If you think that your physics settings while you're in Live2D look good, if you think they look perfect, and this is exactly how you want it, I'm gonna tell you something right here, right now. Up the numbers. Because if you think it looks good right now, it's not gonna have the exact same strength in VTube Studio. What you see here is not going to be exactly how you see it in VTube Studio. So you want to do is up those numbers some more. We're going to go to the scale over here. We're going to double click on that number. And we're going to put that to, let's go with 30. Instead of 13, let's go with 30. And then the 12 we'll put to 20. And then the 8 we're going to put to 15. Now that we put that number, let's see. I really like the movement there. So you know what that means? Okay, I like the movement of everything else except for the main movement. So let's put that one to 25. That looks a little excessive. Which means if it looks a little excessive, it looks like a little too much, chances are that's perfect. Because again, like I said, if it looks like a little too much in Live2D, that means it's not going to have that exact amount of strength in VTube Studio. Although with this one, I think I want to bump this up a little more. Let's put this also to 25. Let's put the second row to 25 and maybe bring the third one to 20. Then we're going to put it like that. Now let's see. That looks a little excessive, and that means it's going to be perfect. Now, of course, that's everything for the X settings. We need to make one for the Y now. So, quick recap how we do this. We go to input settings, we go to our group, we go to the right of said group, we go to add, and we just add the name. We're going to call this one ear Y. Put OK. Then we go to the preset, move all the way to the right over here where we see add, click on that. We're going to go to angle Y, just angle Y, nothing else, just angle Y. Click OK. We got our effect going on here. Move that effect all the way to 100. Then we go to our preset setting. We're going to go to our hair. Yeah, we go to preset. We go to name. We click on that. We're going to look for one that has 3 pendulums. We're going to go to hair, triple pendulum. Click on that. Right next to that, there's import. Click OK. We got our 3 pendulums now. Go to the output setting. Go below the output setting. Put add. Scroll all the way down until we find our physics settings. Specifically, our physics Y settings. And we have 1, 2, and 3 on the physics Y. Click on all 3 of them. Put OK. There we go. We got all 3 of them there. We see our scales. We move it up and down. Nothing moves because they're all on scale 1. Make sure we're on output. Go to increase output. Click OK. Or click yes. Move it up and down. Let's see. That's a lot of movement there. That's a whole lot of movement for those ears. You want to know what that means? It means it might be perfect. We're going to leave it there. We're going to save. And yeah, that is how you set up your physics settings. Of course, we got a lot more along the way on how to do that, but this is one way you could set up your physics settings. If you ever get confused and you're hoping to look back on these videos, do not worry. The video will be up for at least 15, 14 days. And even if it disappears in 14 days, I'm going to be uploading it on the YouTube, on the YouTube archive channel. So you can always scroll back to this video and figure out how it's done there. There you go. All right, so we're going to close. Actually, you know what? I got an idea. There we go. Look at the rat. Look at the rat. Rat's very happy. Anyway, we're going to close that. That is how we're set up our physics settings. And we're going to actually have to do the same thing for the arm. But we'll set up the arm physics later. Well, we already have the arm physics set up, but we'll set them up in the physics setting window tab later. For right now, let's switch out our earphones because they're about to die on me at any second. We should be okay with that. All right, moving on to the next step, because we need to make physics settings for the whiskers and the tail. Actually, you know what? Before we set up the physics settings for the tail and the whiskers, since I already showed how to make the physics settings for the ears, the whiskers and the tail are practically around the same category. If you ever wanted to figure out how to set up the physics settings for them, they're basically the same thing. Well, maybe this tail isn't. I'll show you how to make the physics settings for this rat tail in particular in a bit. But first, let's make the physics, or not the physics settings, let's make the eye blinking for the eyes now. So, let's go to, let's scroll up here. Click on that arrow key. Click on this eye. And I realize we got one too many of these eyes. So let's select. Let's select the eye copies. Delete those so we only have eye shine and eye. So we only have it on one side. Add new earphones to your throne. Never. I still gotta get the Lampy plushies first. All right, let me see. And it's not even so much that I need new earphones, because I got 2 sets of earphones. It's just more so that I may need a set of earphones that are long enough to connect to the PC and go over the desk. Okay, I might need new earphones. Anyway, we're going to call this one Eye Blink. We're going to make a new deformer, call this Eye Blink. Now, this is normally not how you... Under normal circumstances, if you're making a humanoid model, you're not going to have an eye blink deformer for the entire eye.
I agree with you. You should do that, Lampy.
I see what you did there. Thank you for the bits, Reeve. Never. Not until the Lampy plushie is funded. As soon as I got the funding for the Lampy plushie, which should be real soon, that is when I add more stuff to the throne. That's also the other reason why I haven't been adding a lot of stuff to the throne, because I'm looking at it thinking, I don't really need a lot of this stuff. I don't need more stuff. Alright, also, vgen. Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Moth Crew. I hope you enjoy your stay. By the way, you're lampy now. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Alrighty then. So, let's go to the eye blinking. This one's going to be real simple though. So, I'll probably make a tutorial one. Well, I'm already working on the tutorial, so I need to catch up on that later. But I will have a video that will explain how to do the proper, eye blinking and all of that stuff. So look forward to that one. Currently working on the head angle video at the moment. Already got that one caught up and sent to the video editor, so I just gotta wait for them to get that all finished up and we should be good. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you there too, there, Fubi. Is that how you pronounce it? You'll let me know. And welcome on in there, Bagu. Hope things are going well. For the both of you, hope things are well. I hope things are good. So, we go to our eye blink. That is the... Oh, right. As I've mentioned before... Actually, I don't think I mentioned it. Well, it's time to mention it now. So, you see where the eye is? That's on the left side, right? Or that's on the right side, am I right? So you'll probably be thinking that when we're working on it, we're going to want to look for eye open R and eye smile R because, R for right. So therefore, this one should be on the right. Wrong. That is actually the left eye. I know that sounds confusing. I know that sounds weird because you're probably looking at that and thinking, that's the right side, isn't it? That's on the right? It is on the right. On your right. This is on the model's left eye, however. Because when you're looking at a person, they're facing you. Everything that's on the right side of your point of view is their left side. And that's exactly how it's working with this model. So if you want something to blink, and you want it to blink on the right property, you want to make sure that the blinking, all of the blinkings that you have, are on the opposite end. If it's on your right, it's their left. If it's all on the left, it's their right. So for this, we're going to want to go with IL open for that right eye. Because that is their left. As crazy as that sounds. I have made that mistake multiple times, so in case you were wondering, like, how do you know this, Lampy? I have learned the hard way. So yeah, there you go. Doing good. Procrastinating lower writing. You know what? I don't blame you. I'm procrastinating animation. I gotta get it done, and I will get it done, but my mind is telling me I don't wanna. But I'm getting it done. Although, to be fair, that's just because, and it's not even because of the job, it's just animation. Animation takes a lot of work. I'm very grateful for that job, but animation takes a lot of work, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to, because that's what you do when you get a job. You do it. All right. So, now that we got our eye blink deformer for this, we're going to go to IL open. We're going to put 2 dots, not 3, 2, just 2. Because this time, it's going to be like a light switch. Our default setting is all the way to the right, and the eye closing will be all the way to the left. So, before we select anything, we're actually, now that we made our 2 dots, we actually need to bring this back down a little bit. We're going to make 2 more dots to go along with everything. But we only make the first one for now. We're going to make 2 more dots, but only make 1 at the moment. We're going to drag this red circle all the way to where it says 7. And as you can see, these, oh wait, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me, go back to the tutorial screen for this. When we get to that 7, that spot should be good. 3 tabs will pop up. And out of those two tabs, you'll see that there's a green dot and there's a slash. We want to go to the one that shows a green dot. Click on that. And as you can see, where we left our red dot, there is a new green circle. Or there's a new green dot. We're going to need that because this is going to give us a bit of a buffer to keep the eye open. I'll explain more of that later. But now that we got that, let's bring this back over here. Oh, wait, actually, I just remembered something. I can show you how the eye blinking is normally supposed to go. I cannot show you how I can't show you the process, but I could show you how you're normally supposed to set up your eye blinking. Because I've actually been working on that project over here. I'm not going to show you the full model, but I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the eye. Because when it comes to the eye rigging, you're actually going to want to use a different type of warp deformer. You're going to want to use one of these lines, and that's supposed to help you do the blinking and stuff. But in this case, since it's just a simple shape, I'm going to show you a simpler way to do that. But yeah, I can definitely tell you, working on the eyes, if you're working on a humanoid or something with a sclera and eyelashes, it's going to become a whole lot more difficult. But it's also going to have a lot better detail on it. But yeah, as you can see, even with this one, we still have that 7 and 1 buffer. That'll help the eye stay open for longer. Anyway, let's go back to the rat model and catch up with things. Lol indeed. Gotta do OC model lore and video game lore. Ah, fair. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Because honestly, writing, I've never done writing. So I don't know how tricky that is. But I can only imagine. I know what we could do here. So, now that we got this set up, we're going to move it all the way to the left side. Move that red dot on IL open all the way to the left side. Click on that blink. Or click on the blink deformer on the way left. And just shrink this down a little bit until it gets almost significantly flat. But we don't close the eye entirely. We stop it at a slight... Actually, you know what? We stop it at the halfway point to where it becomes at least a circle. Then we pull this down a little more. Or, yeah, we pull this down from the top. And once it gets to a certain point, when you think this should be a reasonable spot for the eye to close, that is when you shrink it down to a point where it is almost exactly aligned. You know what? Let's go back to this blink. Pull it back a little bit more. There we go. Now all we have is a line. Right there. Now, the reason why we did that, instead of just... Actually, let me see if I could show you. Ah, I know how we could do this. We're actually going to go to one of the other deformers, just as an example. We're going to make a new box for this. So, the reason why we did it that way, it seems a little excessive, but I'm going to show you something. The reason why we did it that way is because if we just flatten it exactly where it is, and not have it pulled down a little bit, you'll see a significant difference between the two. So for here, the eye just flattens, and yeah, the eye just flattens, and that's okay. You could have that. However, if we go back to the other one, it gives it a little bit more of a sense of it, you know, just actually closing. Actually, you know what? We could actually do a little bit better than that. Let's go back to this deformer. Go back to this angle. Delete that one, add another dot. Here's what we could do as a matter of fact. Make it a little better on ourselves. We're going to take these two spots, close that one just a little bit. Take everything from the top row, squish that one down significantly.